Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Slow and Steady Economics. In this video, we are going to see the next question in GATE PYQ 2022. So straight away, let's get into the question. The question is that the change in equilibrium output for an equal amount of change in government expenditure and tax revenue is linked to which one of the following multiplier? And the options are expenditure multiplier, balanced budget multiplier, lump sum tax multiplier, and trade multiplier. So from the question, it is pretty much clear that the question is entirely dependent on the concept of multiplier. If we know this concept very well, it is a very simple question to answer. So in this video, I'll first cover the concept of multiplier. Through that, we'll try to answer this question. So let me start with the concept of multiplier. Autonomous multiplier. Autonomous multiplier. What is meant by multiplier? It is a measure which shows how much the dependent variable changes for a change in an independent variable or an exogenous variable. So it is simply that the impact, how much impact the autonomous variable has on an dependent variable is known as autonomous multiplier. So let me explain in detail by using the closed economy model. What is the closed economy model? Is y is equal to c plus I plus g. So it is a closed economy model which does not involve any external sector, that is exports and imports. So now y is an national income, c is an consumption, I is an investment, government is in government expenditure, g is in government expenditure. So using this, we will try to derive the multiplier mathematically. So now what is c? Consumption is equal to, what is the consumption function? C bar plus b of y minus t. Y minus t means it's a disposable income after tax, So and b is an marginal propensity to consume, and c is an autonomous consumption. What is an autonomous consumption? Is a consumption that the consumer consumes at the zero level of income. When there is no income involved, what is its consumption? That is denoted by the autonomous consumption. So now the equation will be rewritten as y is equal to c bar plus b of y minus t plus I plus g. Now we can solve it for y. So y minus by is equal to c bar minus bt plus I plus g. Y common here, so 1 minus b, same term. So if we take this 1 minus b to that side, y is equal to 1 by 1 minus b of c bar minus bt plus I plus g. So I'm going to name this equation as 1 because we are going to use this equation in this video many times. So in this equation, the variables in the bracket, that is c bar minus bt plus I plus g, are known as autonomous variable. Why these terms are known as autonomous variable? Because these are determined completely outside the model. That is, their values are not influenced by the dependent variable income. So, you can see that tax and government expenditure are determined by the government. I is determined by using the rate of interest, and C bar is an consumption which the consumer consumes at zero level of income. So there is no income involved in that consumption. So these are known as autonomous variables. So I'm going to name this c bar as c bar minus bt plus I plus g as a. A means autonomous variables. So now the equation will be y is equal to a by 1 minus b. What I said as multiplier is a change in dependent variable for a change in autonomous variable. So now we have to do, for finding the multiplier, we have to do the differentiation process. Differentiate with respect to a. Then we do then dy by dA, and the differentiation of a will be 1. So 1 minus b, because it's a constant. So this is the autonomous multiplier. It can also be written as change in y by change in a. Change in a is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC, because B is the marginal propensity to consume. So now we derive the concept of derive the multiplier. If it is an autonomous multiplier, what is then what is meant by expenditure multiplier, lump sum tax multiplier, trade multiplier, and the balanced budget multiplier? It's a very simple one. Now here I took the substitution that A is equal to C bar minus BT plus I plus G. Instead of that, if instead of this, I may now we'll consider as G changes. Now I have to find the government expenditure multiplier. So I'm going to rewrite this equation number 1 here. Y is equal to 1 by 1 minus B of C bar minus BT plus I plus G. So now we have to, for a change, find the change, we have to differentiate with respect to G. Then it will be dy by dg is equal to, you know that C bar minus BT and I are completely determined outside the model and does not depend on government expenditure, so it will be named as constant. So all will be 0. Now if we differentiate, we will get as 1 by 1 minus b of dg by dg. Differentiation of g with respect to g will be 1. So dy by dg will be 1 by 1 minus b. So same multiplier, autonomous multiplier value is we are getting for government expenditure multiplier, and the same will get for investment, and same will get for autonomous consumption. But we will not, but for lump sum tax, it will not be lump sum tax multiplier, it will not be the same, because we have the constant before, that is minus b, that is MPC. If we differentiate the same equation with respect to tax, then it will be dy by dt will be minus b by 1 minus b, because the tax involves a constant before. So we have derived all this multiplier, but the trade multiplier in the option, for that we need export and import. That is, I'll do a different video for that, for an open economy model. Now we are dealing with the closed economy model, that is y is equal to c plus I plus g, which does not involve any external sector. So I will do a different video for an external sector multipliers by using exports and imports. So now coming back to the question, by eliminating the option technique, we can easily answer this question. If you know only the concept of multiplier, I don't know what is meant by expenditure multiplier, what is meant by balanced budget multiplier is not, but I know the concept of multiplier, what is meant by multiplier. I can easily answer this question. Let me tell you. So in this question, there is a change in equilibrium output for equal amount of change in government expenditure and tax revenue. But expenditure multiplier, we saw here it's a change in y for a change in g. Only the government expenditure is changing, not the tax revenue. So it cannot be expenditure multiplier. Expenditure multiplier cannot be the answer, and lump sum tax multiplier also not be the answer, because it's only a change in lump sum tax. There is no government expenditure changing. So, and next, the trade multiplier, the question does not involve any clue about the external sector. So the trade multiplier may not be the answer for this question. So obviously balanced budget multiplier is going to be the answer. Even though you don't know what is meant by balanced budget multiplier, you can answer this question if you know the concept of multiplier. So now I'm not going to leave you in that way. I'm going to explain now what is meant by balanced budget multiplier. So what is meant by balanced budget? Balanced budget Balanced budget. Balanced budget means what are the revenue the government gains will be spent as in government expenditure, not more than that or less than that. If we spend more than that, more than the revenue, it will be a deficit budget. If less than that, it will be a surplus budget. Most often in undeveloped nations like India, we are doing a deficit budget. But now we are talking about the balanced budget. What are the revenue the government gains will be spent as a government expenditure? Not more, not any amount, not a penny more than that. So it means the revenue is equal to expenditure. Obviously, now we are seeing about the closed economy model. In a closed economy model, it will be tax is going to be the major revenue for the government and the government expenditure. So it will be tax is equal to government expenditure. So any changes have to be made in the government expenditure, then there should be an increase or a decrease in tax. So change in tax should be equal to change in government expenditure. So now with this, let's get into the balanced budget multiplier. Balanced budget, I'm shorting out as BBM. Balanced budget multiplier. So I'm going to rewrite this equation 1. I'm named it above. It will be y is equal to 1 by 1 minus b c bar minus bt plus I plus g. So what is in the question? The question, they said both government expenditure and tax is changing. Now with the question, I'm going to explain this one. Both government expenditure, there is a change in output, there is a change in equilibrium output for a change in both government expenditure and tax revenue. So there is a change in output, change in y is equal to 1 by 1 minus b of c bar minus b of t plus change in t. I'm including the changes in the option in the equation plus change in g. I'm going to name this equation as 2 and this equation is already named as 1. So by subtracting 1 from 2, we will obviously get change in y is equal to 1 by 1 minus b of minus b of change in t and change in g, because all of the like terms, it will get cancelled. Y cancel, c bar cancel, minus bt cancel, I cancel, g cancel. So only the changed variables will be remaining. So now change in y, let's simplify this. Change in y into 1 minus b is equal to minus b of change in t plus change in g. So in a balanced budget, already we have said that change in t, that is change in tax revenue, will be equal to change in government expenditure. So by substituting that here, the equation will be 1 by 1 minus b. I'm substituting, instead of change in t, I'm substituting change in g. It will be change in g plus change in g. So change in y of 1 minus b is equal to change in g common. It will be 1 minus b. So 1 minus b cancel. So change in y by change in g is equal to 1. So this 1 is said here as an equal amount, the change in equilibrium output for an equal amount of change in government expenditure and tax revenue. So balanced budget multiplier will be equal to 1. So that's it for this video. I hope this video will be useful for your preparation. Let me see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Cheers.